Well, now that we got a good chunk of this body back together, though it's not complete, I want to switch over to the suspension. I got an old set of 4-inch Rancho lift springs in the front. I did a shackle reversal in the back, which turned out really well. I'll share a little bit more with that in a future video when I get back there. But for today, I'm going to put my steering stabilizer on. It's just a kit that I got from Skyjacker, and it seems to be a real good piece. Now my front shocks, I'm going to go after them too, but they're a little different now. I got them right from Summit Racing. I believe they are North American made, which gives me a little more confidence in them, but we'll go down that road and see how that installation goes too. Stick around, check it out. So here's something we're going to work on today, is the steering stabilizer. It's got brackets on the tie rod and on the diff housing, so hopefully this should just be a bolt on, but you know how that stuff goes. We'll see how it's going to work out. Well, this looks like all nice quality stuff that Skyjacker provided. This is the shock. That boot seemed to go on really well. They provided a really nice, good quality tie wrap to hold that boot on. The hardware seems really good, and looks like it'll be just ideal for what I wanted to do. Now this here is what I use just to help slide everything together. And you know what? Anytime you're doing anything with shocks or sway bars or anything with bushings, it's a good idea to put a little bit of grease in there. Okay.
Okay, what?
Go all the way to the passenger side.
Okay, that's all the way.
Okay, now go all the way the other way.
That's all the way.
Okay, looks good to me. One thing I gotta say when it comes to aftermarket parts, I've used a few different Skyjacker pieces over the years. The steering stabilizer was a really quality, nice fitting piece. Another thing is the steering arm that's on this truck right now. It's just a 4-inch drop steering arm that I used, and it fit like factory, and it just seemed like a really nice thing. One big thing, especially when you're talking about these 72 to 93 Dodge trucks, Skyjacker is one of the few outfits that still sells a whole ton of stuff for these trucks. And like I say, I will definitely support them and buy as much as I can from them in the future. They're just really good to deal with. Now the keen-eyed among you are going to notice that I didn't have my jack stands under that front axle. Well, I came over here to grab them, and this is what I saw. So I just decided to be careful, not let anything get underneath, anything that's going to pinch my leg off, and I went for it anyway. Okay, so here's the situation. This differential is out of a GMC 1-ton, like a 1980. And I always used the factory upper shock mount, but when I was younger and dumber, I fabricated that crappy little lower shock mount. And though it worked, it never worked very well, and it keeps the bottom shock bushing in a bind. So we're going to be cutting that sucker off, and I think what we're going to do is we're going to fabricate something more along the line of the factory mount, which was actually just a piece of flat bar with a hole mounted in it, or hole drilled in it. So stick with me for a bit and see what I come up with. Well, my shock installation didn't go quite like I hoped it would. The pins on the upper shock mounts were a little too big for the eyes in the shocks. I guess that's what you get for aftermarket parts and mixing and matching and things like that. Anyway, took the upper shock mount off, broke it. So I guess we're just gonna look at that one in a future video, show you what I got done for today. Have a good one, catch you later.